Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Two topics for this video. The first one, supposedly the chief of the Ukrainian intelligence, Mr. Kirill Budanov, is alive. I give him 20% chances that he's alive. Nevertheless, supposedly he was interviewed by Bloomberg and he's talking about Ukraine's need of a ceasefire by the end of 2025. So we're going to discuss that little topic. The second one, a few days ago, I think 3 days ago, a Special Forces Colonel, the Ukrainian Special Forces Colonel, was gunned down in Kiev, killed by someone showed up in front of him, bam, 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 5 times, and there you go. An update on that one, a very interesting detail I found in one of the Ukrainian articles regarding to this colonel's past and training. And very interesting, the training was conducted by CIA and it hasn't been since 2014. Yeah, it was not, okay, it was from earlier than that. So very interesting, and supposedly, not supposedly, but the Ukrainians claim that they eliminated the killer, the person who eliminated the colonel. And supposedly the killer was working at the order of the Russian special forces and so on. So these are the two topics. Let's start with the first one. This comes from Russia Today. This is from July 11th, 2025. Ukraine needs ceasefire by the end of 2025, according to spy chief. A truce with Russia must be brokered as soon as possible, Kirill Budanov has said. A ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine must be reached by the end of the year. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence, Kirill Budanov, said in an interview with Bloomberg published on Friday. Published because we don't see the guy moving. You just say, hey, he said that. Okay. He made the remarks as Ukrainian troops steadily lose ground along different sections of the front line and after the 2024 incursion into Russia's Kursk region ended in costly failure. The Ukrainian army has also been struggling to bring new conscripts. Budanov told Bloomberg that, I'm quoting, a ceasefire must be reached as soon as possible and well before the end of the year. And I'm quoting again, is it realistic to do so? Yes. Is it difficult? No. Oh my, he said, it takes at least 3 sides, Ukraine, Russia and the US, and we will get to that position. I don't think it takes 2 or 3 sides, I think it takes 2 sides. One, the Russians, the other one, the Americans, and the deal is done. The Ukrainians must be the Ukrainians. The guys in charge of Ukraine must be told by the Americans, who are told by others to stop playing around and follow orders, which they do. The guys in charge of Ukraine, not the Ukrainians. That's a difference. So yes, they need it desperately, it seems like, but we'll see. Now Donald Trump said that he's going to send another round of aid, military aid, which is bullets and things to, eliminate the Russians. About $300 million worth of. Okay, well, we'll see how that's gonna play. The Germans also said we will make the German population in our name, because we have the authority, buy American weapons from American private arms manufacturing companies to sell it to Ukraine, to give it to Ukraine. So I'm going to take the money from the, Hans and his child, Johann, and take the money forcefully for taxes, and I will buy from the private companies who's going to have these commands, orders, you're going to have that, and they will build these weapons, and they will be sent to Zelensky Stein of the guild, you know what I mean? And then when those weapons will be eliminated, or will be shot, pam, 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 pam. Then again, it's gonna come to Hans and get Johann more money for those. And Johann and Hans will say, I'm sorry, son Johann, but your future is fucked because our elected officials decided to help Zelensky Stein, Yermak Stein, Zmihal Stein, and Umerov, and your future is, bye-bye. So that, oh, you just go to work, Hans, with Johan together. So this is what's going on. We'll find out how this will play. Even the Brits say, oh, we're going to give more money. Give more money. You give it from your population. It's like taking from you snatch the, I don't know, the ice cream, or not even ice cream, because ice cream is not necessary, the food from your child's hands, and you give it to someone else's children. Not even children, you give it to an adult, because the adult needs something, and he plays the guilt card against you in a case of Germany. So congratulations. How do you call this kind of parent? I mean, I know in America that would be considered, neglect, abuse, all these things. I don't know how it's called in real life. The same. Maybe treason. All right, that's the first topic. Let's go to the second one, which I think is more important actually than the first one, because these guys need a ceasefire to allow the NATO troops to come with a peacekeeping forces to enforce the ceasefire. That's the whole game. So remember, the Russians said, we don't want NATO close to our borders. And Ukraine, it's a red line. You crossed it, we are going to smack you. That's in progress right now. But the coalition of the willing says, once the ceasefire is agreed upon, we are ready, NATO, to bring troops in Ukraine to make sure that this ceasefire is enforced. And when that's going to be violated by the Russians, obviously, then the NATO troops are already there, legally, supposedly. So why would the Russians do exactly what they said they will go into Ukraine for as a main reason? I mean, it's so imbecilic that it makes you like, who the hell is coming up with this kind of imbecilic ideas? But you know what? It works, because 40% at least of our society is below 86 IQ. I mean, that's a fact. I'm not, 86 IQ means that you are mentally, you know what I mean? Okay, just check it out. Don't kill the messenger here. Let's go to the second topic. Ukrainska Pravda. So, Ukraine Security Service eliminates FSB agents, plural, links to murder of SSU Colonel. So FSB agents, these guys, Ukrainians, tell us that their mighty security service already eliminated the Russian agents. They already knew it was agent right there, okay? Linked to the murder of this guy, to their fantastic colonel, walking down the street with some bags. Okay. The Security Service of Ukraine, SSU, have carried out a special operation to eliminate the Russian agents. There's already a given, the Russian agent, who killed SSU Colonel Ivan Voronich in Kiev under orders from the FSB. You see, it's already, this is a statement. It's not allegedly, it's not could be, might, reportedly. No, it's right there. It's a given. This is what it is. They already know that those guys were Russian agents, and they already know that they were under the orders of SSB, right there. Now, in the first paragraph, do I believe that? No. Is it possible? 100%. Is it probable? I don't know. I would give, 50%. Source: Security Service of Ukraine. So the Russian FSB agent combat group was pre-routed to Ukraine and 3 days ago committed the murder of an SSU employee, our brother-in-arms, Colonel Ivan Voronich. According to the results of covert searches and active counterintelligence measures, the enemy lair was discovered. During the detention, they showed resistance and there was fire contact. So the scoundrels were eliminated. So you see, they didn't kill them. It's because they showed resistance with firearms. We had to. You understand? So it's like the Ukrainian security services are angels and the Russians are evil. Like these guys fed you in America the idea that the KGB is evil. Yes, but our CIA are angels. No. Okay? Why? Hollywood tells you that. Okay? So the same here. The SSU is fantastic, the Ukrainians, but the Russians are evil. Why? Don't ask questions. We identify. We have the evidence. And we're going to give it to you. Not the evidence, the conclusion. It's like I come and supposedly investigate a case and I reach a conclusion. I close the case and I say, okay, you're guilty of this. And you have questions. Well, how did you reach that conclusion? It's an investigation. It's confidential. You have no authority to look over it. We tell you what we found. That's it. The evidence is right there. The investigation was conducted and completed by a professional. All right. So, and you say, I have the right to face my accuser and find out how you found. No, you don't have any rights. I tell you because we are the state and you are a servant. All right. Let's go to the next article, which comes from CNN. Ukraine says it killed a Russian agents suspected of assassinating intelligence officers. So CNN reports it's given that they are Russian agents, and then they try to show a little bit of a professionalism in in reporting, and says suspected of. They don't say Ukraine says it killed alleged or suspected Russian agents, No, it's right there. So the same thing. That's not the article. This is the article. Now, I would like you to pay attention, not too much because it's not, rocket science here. Murdered Ukrainian Security Service Colonel linked to key missions against Russia and Donbas militants. New York Times. So this guy has been in business for a long time with some gray operations, and he was in a very bad situation. So these guys were shot dead. New York Times has information that he has taken part in a number of special operations, including the killing of Russian militant Arsen Pavlov, alias Motorola, or Nokia, however you want. So we have here, these guys took part in this operation killing this guy, all right, and led a unit that advanced into Russia's Kursk Oblast in 2024. Now this is an invasion of an independent sovereign country. But you can say, well, that's exactly what Russia did to us. That's why we are eliminating their leadership and whomever we catch. So the Russian says, okay, we're going to do the same thing because the scenario is the same. You invade my country, I assassinate your guys, and that's it. Oh, no, you can't do that. Only we can do that. Again, based on we self-identify as good, and only we have the right to identify you as evil. You do not own the same right to identify yourself as good and identify us as however you want. No, only we. Why? Somehow we are good and somehow you are evil. By your actions, you say? I would like to send you to 2014. All right, let's go. And not only. So here, as reported by New York Times, citing anonymous colleagues of Voronezh, the colonel served in the Alpha Special Operations Center and had worked for the SSU for several decades. That's more than 20, okay? Decades, all right? He began his service, please listen to this, in the mid-1990s and later commanded the 5th Directorate, a unit that received technical support from the good boys of CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and was involved in the killing of one of the comrades of the unrecognized Donetsk People's Republic's commanders, Arsen Pavlov, alias Motorola. It is noted that after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Voronezh was part of an elite group operating in the gray zone, with gray orders and gray morals. All right? New York Times says this unit played a key role in the Ukrainian armed forces' advance into Russia's Kursk Oblast in the summer of 2024. Got it? My point is this. Mid-1990s. So he began his service in the mid-1990s and became the commander of 5th Directorate. And this was received technical support from the CIA. So CIA was involved in Ukraine, and Ukraine was supposed to be neutral. So who screwed up first? The Ukrainians. Not the Ukrainians necessarily, because the Ukrainians were occupied. I give them the same as the Romanians. Oh, allow the Americans to come over. When they come over, they don't come to help you. They come to take over. That's how it works. So here, he was probably trained, obviously, under the command of the CIA, which CIA identifies as good. And CIA identifies the SBU or whatever, USB, as bad. Why? They can. But the other guys cannot do the same thing. Remember, they are in the same line of work. The same. It's like you have a American hitman or a Russian hitman. You can't say the American hitman is the good guy. He's hired to eliminate other people. So the same as the other. So the nature of the job is the same. Do you think that these guys are not using the same methods? I mean, I would direct you or recommend to you those times in Europe when CIA was operating in Europe, apprehending people in the street, in the third countries, get them in the little rooms somewhere and waterboard them in the basement in those countries. That's illegal. And that's what we are allowed to know. You know what I mean? So it's like you walk on down the street, I don't know where you live, let's say you live in Paris. And huts, they grab you. They put you in a van. They get you somewhere, put a little thing over there. Okay, get you down there in the basement. And in the basement they start giving you water because you are thirsty, they say. And they do that in Paris. Or they move you to, I don't know, to Marseille. And they do this blah, 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 until you say everything, right? But that's not torture. Why? Because we do it. If the Russians do it, torture. And do you think that's the only thing these guys are doing? No. They will do everything to get the information. Anything. Yeah, we're not going to find out, obviously. My friends, you don't have to go too deep to find out what these guys are doing. You don't have to. Just find out. It's easy. It's easy. They're in the same line of work. And if you think that they are bound by rules and regulations, yes, but they always can be bent and broken. So he was a CIA guy, not hired, but under the command. It's even worse. That means you're a person who are at the command of a foreign agency to help you, to train you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.